And welcome back to another edition of Classic Doom Walkthroughs. Today we're continuing along with the 6th episode, 33 map WAD, Don't Fear the Demons. This is episode 4, Underworld, map 2. Well, what we have here is a series of different areas through the different doors, and there's a certain order to them in my view how to do it. I'll be sure to explain all that. Our goal here is to dispose of 73 enemies, 1 secret, and 31 items. I intend to show you how to do all of that. The game is powered by GZDoom using the Doom 2 Hell on Earth platform. As always, we are playing on the ultra-violence difficulty setting in order to get 100% in all 3 of those categories. Alright, well, starting off with our pistol, we go ahead and pick up the super shotgun because, yeah, let's have a better weapon. So there's some ammo lying about. Go ahead. There's no red key here, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. If this looks familiar, this is from the previous map. You look through here and you saw all of these pillars. Well, they've been lowered for this map. So we're just in that room with the super shotgun where we couldn't access from the previous map, just in case you're wondering, for continuity. So we're going to start off. This is really where the exit will lead to. There's a Mancubus, and behind that, a Baron. This leads into a series of other areas to explore. This is a one-area door that will allow us to grab some ammo and some weapons. So I choose to go through this one first. I let the Revenants come to us. To be honest, it's a very narrow area. It's easy to get stuck on the walls on the side, on those pillars. And these corners here provide us with some pretty good cover from the missiles and rockets of the Revenant, or Revenants, I guess. So go ahead and pick up your shotgun shells, now you have the chain gun, so you have quite a bit of ammo. So what's next? Well, basically, once you press this switch, we don't need the blue key, it's just a switch to press. This wall will open up and there will be 5 chain gunners there. Also, right up against the gate fence will be a rocket launcher. My suggestion is that you leave them alone for now, because by the time you get the rocket launcher, you're going to be fired upon by 5 chain gunners. And even if you manage to shoot a couple, you're going to take a lot of damage, and the gunners do teleport to around here. So I would say leave the rocket launcher for now, and then get out of here and try to take a stand in this open area. As soon as you press that button, this switch, that area will open up the chain gunners. There will be 1 chain gunner teleporting to right here, so you will shoot him on the way out. And then you will fight a Baron, Revenant, a Kako, and some other smaller enemies, including gunners. So you will probably take some damage. I like to have the door open. This is a map where the enemies can open up all the doors, so there's no hiding from enemies there. So that being open, like I said, fire on that shotgunner. Alright, so we took a little bit of damage. We got stuck behind a silly zombie man. Now what we're hoping to have happen here is the Revenant and the Baron fighting. I mean, quite frankly, the Kako joining in is just like a cherry on top, isn't it? So now we can go ahead. There still are some chain gunners in there. Let's dispose of them. And now we have our rocket launcher should we want to use it. For now, why don't we just use our chain gun for the smaller enemies? And yeah, sure, why don't we maybe fire off a couple at the Baron. The Baron's been weakened, I think, fighting with the Revenant and even a little bit with the Kako, perhaps. And that's how I clear that room. It's pretty hectic. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that can go wrong. But press the switch, ignore them for now, shoot the chain gunner who's right here, and then get out, and then hope for some infighting while you fend off the enemies in this room. That's my approach. So now I would leave this room for last. Now we go through this door. And what we can do now is we can take out our chain gun. There's a couple of imps and a Baron down below. And there's more ammo here. So yeah, sure, let's grab the shotgun shells. Grab that in a moment. And so I prefer to use, because the Baron is pretty stationary, he doesn't leave that little spot. I would just like to use the super shotgun. There's more super shotgun shells in the room beyond, so don't worry too much about that. Leave that ammo case, because this will be a whole point as soon as the enemies teleport, which I'll explain in a moment. First, there are 4 shotgunners to dispose of before entering. There's 2 on either side. And there's a Hell Knight who doesn't move. That Hell Knight is stationary. So basically, once we come in, maybe even fire off a shot, enemies will teleport here. So this is the door I would prefer to keep open, because you're more likely to get blocked going through the other door. So let's go ahead, fire off a few shots. No, nothing happened? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Maybe I just need to take an extra step or two. You do take sometimes a little bit of damage. A lot of gunners do pop out at the same time, so it's slightly inevitable. Don't worry, there is sufficient health to get by. There's also going to be, the secret is going to be a mega sphere. We're going to have to earn that a little bit more than what we're doing now, but I mean, it is going to be available to us, so don't worry too much. That should be it for the enemies inside. Replenish your ammo. Like I said, there are lots of shotgun shells, and there is also some chain gun shell, chain gun ammo, pistol ammo. The yellow key, of course, we pick up, and there's also rocket launcher ammo. So there we go. If you need your green armor, go ahead and grab it. So the next area is this area. There will be some small enemies like imps, shotgunner, and zombie men. A couple on this side. Don't see the imp yet. There's the imp. There are shotgunners to the right, so that's why, as you saw, I just walked over. There's another shotgunner here. So let's dispose of them. Okay, so what happens now is once we grab the plasma rifle, we'll have a bunch of pinkies teleport in and some revenants and some other enemies. So I think, personally, this is a very tight area to fight. So, I mean, we can open up this door if you like, but our goal is to get through that door, really, as our hold point. So maybe we'll just go ahead and open that door, but we're likely to have to fight our way through some pinkies before the revenants get too close. This is my strategy. There are a lot, as you can see, there are a lot of enemies here. There will be some infighting, but you're in a much, that was terrible. You're in a much better position to take a proper stance. You don't let the rocket blow up in your face like that. That was pretty hideous. So don't do that. But the strategy is generally sound. You're in a pretty safe location. And I wouldn't cry over spilt milk, because I did promise there is a mega sphere nearby. So let me just make sure all the enemies are gone. It sounds like there's an imp somewhere. There we go. So there's a plethora of shotgun shells. So you're going to get replenished nicely there. Oh, another imp. Okay, hey, took a little damage. Don't worry about it. And there's more chain gun ammo here. But there's also the switch that's been revealed. Do press that switch. And there's the Megasphere. So, silly mistakes notwithstanding, I'm now replenished back up to 200%. That's why I wasn't necessarily disappointed in taking a rocket right to the face when I was bragging that was a good hold point. It is a good hold point. So now, basically, you're left with the final room, which does have that Mancubus. You want to use a couple rockets? Sure, why not? And that's that. Now, perhaps you want to use the plasma, which you hadn't used quite just a moment. Maybe just to annoy the Baron, and that's it. And these are the balance of your items. But we're going to do a last second check. Let's have a look-see. Yes, all 73 kills, the one secret, which was the Megasphere and the Switch, and all 31 items. Indeed, that means we are done. And that is Episode 4, Underworld, Map 2. I quite like that. I think there's a specific order to go through with respect to collecting your weapons, efficiently disposing of the enemies by sector, and of course leaving that last melee for last, because there is a Megasphere as your reward, assuming you even make a mistake. If you do, it's forgiven, because the Megasphere will give you 200 all around. Well, that's my approach, and hopefully it's a good one for you too, or you just simply enjoy the walkthrough. Either way, hit that subscribe button. You won't miss any further videos that I upload. But for now, that's it for Classic Doom Walkthroughs. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.